What's good, guys? Well, today I've got to get the steering wheel off of minty green. So today we're going to remove and reinstall the steering wheel in a Trailblazer. Let's do this shit. So the first thing I have to do is pop this airbag out of here. Now by the time you guys see this video, there should already be a video up which shows how to disable the airbags in these trucks. Now for demonstration purposes, I want to show you guys what we're actually going to be doing here. So here's your steering wheel. Rotate it this way. What you're going to see is a little hole here. Also on the other side is another hole. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be taking Mr. Pocket Screwdriver, going up into a hole. When we push the pocket screwdriver, we're going to be pushing that little thingy. So what you're going to be seeing me doing is using 2 pocket screwdrivers to disengage both of those tabs, which is going to allow me to pop the airbag out of there. I don't know if I should say pop the airbag. I definitely don't want to pop the airbag.
I would like to remove said airbag from the steering wheel.
How's that? I'm so nervous right now, you guys have no idea. I'm literally sweating here. I hate doing these. Alright, so while we're in here, we're going to go ahead and we're going to take this guy right here. You should just be able to push him in and rotate him. I know my hand was probably in the way the whole time. Ever so politely lift up on this tab and unplug our steering wheel controls. What I like to do is just take a little marker and I just put a mark on the wheel and a mark on the nut. Got an extra long 1/2-inch drive ratchet, 13/16 socket. Remember, these columns don't lock, so you're going to want to hold it. Wow, that was a lot looser than I thought it was going to be. Hey, no jokes about that. I just became certified in sexual harassment training at work, so we don't want to say anything about how loose something is or what it felt like. In other words, no more fun, okay? We're being very serious here. Shit, guys, there's no threaded holes. How come just about every other fucking car out there has threaded holes in the steering wheel that you can thread your steering wheel puller into? This truck doesn't have it. So yeah, normally you just thread a couple bolts in here through your steering wheel puller and use the puller to pop this wheel off, but Trailblazer here doesn't have that shit. Hey, do you mind? Trying to give my viewers a good angle, you fucking asshole. Alright, so just to give you guys a better look at this steering wheel, so what's going on behind the scenes, you're fishing this thing up here and you're just trying to rotate them over. It's kind of hard to see with my hands in the way while I was doing it, but that is what you're actually doing. Well, it looks like both of them bitches have a pretty big bite now. And all you got to do is fish out these 3 connectors here. And there she be. Well, there's a couple reasons why you'd have to pull the steering wheel off of this thing. I want the clock spring out of my 04. Now, even though I've got minty green all taken apart as far as the clock spring and all that shit, it doesn't mean I can't show you guys how to pop the steering wheel back on. If you look up in here, you can see all these little thingies are spaced apart. Then you've got this big chunky right here. This thing can only go on one way. So if you try to put it on and you're crooked, it ain't going to happen. This thing is only going to go on one way. You really can't unless you force it, and if that's the case, you shouldn't be doing any of this stuff. And by design, there's enough of the shaft coming through that you're going to use the nut itself to press the steering wheel back on. Now I can go and check the marks I made earlier. Perfect. So this is the puller that my man B Murda let me borrow. See if it worked. It did. So shout outs to B Murda. You can see here, they don't even list Trailblazer or Envoy or nothing on this application guide. But that's what I used to at least get this out of minty green. Well, not this one. The way my story goes is, I actually got a new steering wheel for my 2003 Trailblazer, and I'm looking at it, I'm going, well, where the fuck are the threaded holes to pull this thing off? I've never had a steering wheel out of a Trailblazer before, you know what I'm saying? I've got steering wheel pullers with a whole assortment of different bolts and shit that I've needed throughout the years to pull various steering wheels and shit, and I didn't have one with hooks. I look it up, there's J tools required. I was telling my buddy about it. He says, I got a puller that has the little J hooks for doing this. So he tightened me up with it. The puller that you guys seen here, that ain't mine. I just want to give credit where it's due. So I will be getting my own puller since I actually had to borrow one. And as far as I know, there's no other way to get that steering wheel off. Anyway, thanks for checking this out. Got the steering wheel off of Minty. You guys saw that. Got the clock spring out of Minty. You guys didn't see that. And we put the steering wheel back on Minty. You guys saw that. So your steering wheel R&R, there you are, folks. What's up, motherfuckers? Well, today we got this 2015 Silverado. Camouflage everywhere. Just going on a little road test. Giving her a good old evaluation. I evaluate that these tires suck. Big fucking, use your imagination. But enough about this stupid camouflage Silverado. You ever leave a job and then you hear about the things that goes on there after you left? It's awesome when you leave and the shit just deteriorates. It's kind of like when you find an ex-girlfriend on Facebook and she's got kids by different dudes and driving a raggedy beat up car and her life just went to shit. The turning point in her life was the moment that you stepped out of it. The turning point being the point where everything went downhill for that person. Well, it's kind of the same way with old jobs. Somebody linked me up a place I used to work at, and the reviews are just fucking hilarious. 5 weeks to do manifold studs. To give up after 5 weeks and then tell the customer that they've got to come and get their vehicle towed out of your shop because you can't fix it. That's hilarious. That's like seeing the ex-girlfriend having a whole bunch of kids by a whole bunch of dudes and looks about as rough as these tires sound on this Silverado. And that's just great. In the case of my old employer, you know, what you pay for is what you get. If you don't think mechanics should make good money, you obviously don't have an understanding about how complicated modern vehicles are. A lot of people are stuck in that old school state of mind, that cars are easy to fix because one Saturday afternoon 40 years ago, you put a distributor cap on your old Nova. And try doing anything to this 2015 Silverado, even the fucking tire light reading fucking 14 pounds on one tire, even though I just put 35 in all of them. You know, here in 2018 is mechanics like myself are getting phased out for cheap parts replacers. There's always going to be a need for people like me, always. I have nothing to worry about. But the people out there that want to start their own shop and just do the math and figure, well, you know, if I pay a guy 12 bucks an hour and I charge 112 bucks an hour, I'll make 100 bucks an hour off of him. Well, that 12 bucks an hour is going to get you some hack motherfuckers that are going to take 5 weeks to try to get manifold studs out and give up. Yeah, you.